Good afternoon and welcome to Matters Financial and Geopolitical from a Frontier, and thank you for stopping by. Political Reflections: the man accused of trying to seize control of Ethiopia's northern Amhara region was shot dead on Monday, a senior government official said. The government accused General Asamnew Tsige of masterminding gun attacks on Saturday night that killed 5 people, including the National Army's chief of staff and Amhara's state president. Asamnew was shot on Monday near Amhara's capital, Bahir Dar. The Prime Minister's secretary told Reuters, declined to give any other details. Access to the internet remains blocked. The streets of Addis Ababa appeared calm yesterday. And I've written about this, and I saw him as a very much a Virilian figure, but I think it was his sheer momentum which suppressed this kind of thing below the international radar. But now the political risk has popped over the radar in a very big way. US President has just imposed sanctions directly on an Iranian supreme leader who has been dead since 1989, Trump said Khomeini to the press. That was via Rabobank and Zero Hedge. The Iranian President Hassan Rouhani says US policy towards Tehran displays the Trump administration's despair, adding that the White House is mentally retarded. And that made me think, this mentally retarded, that Hassan Rouhani has chosen to fight the linguistic and sanction warfare specialist toe-to-toe in the matter of linguistics. 5th of December 2016, I was writing about how Trump is a linguistic warfare specialist who always has a nickname for people. Little Marco, there's so many of them. Iran says US sanctions on Khamenei mean the end of diplomacy. And this all follows a tour that Secretary Pompeo was making around the region. He met with King Salman yesterday and spoke about promoting maritime security in the Strait of Hormuz, and said in his tweet, freedom of navigation is tantamount. And immediately over the top of that tweet came Trump says other countries should protect their own Gulf shipping. And I take you back to the 13th of May when I said no number of Trump tweets will dampen the price in the event that the Strait of Hormuz is shut down, even after an asymmetric fashion. Brent crude, last time I checked, was at $64.04. But you see, you've got this geopolitical risk on one side, and you've got demand slowdown on the other. 4 nations in Asia account for roughly 1/4 of total global oil demand. China, 13.5 million barrels per day. India, 5 million. Japan, 3.7 million. South Korea, 2.5 million. To add to the Asian oil demand weakness, India, world's top 3 oil consumer, demand growth actually contracted year on year in April and stayed flat year on year in May. That's pretty interesting when you compare it to the GDP. And as I said, Iranians, I think, will surely manage to shutter the Straits of Hormuz, even if after an asymmetric fashion, and Persian Gulf oil shipments now cost more than $500,000 to insure. So-called war risk premiums for a standard oil cargo from the Persian Gulf, and the tanker hauling it now can cost upwards of $500,000. Earlier this year, the same premiums would have cost owners less than 1/10 of that. Despite the surge in insurance premiums, the extra cost is still a small part of a barrel of crude. Based on standard supertanker cargo, $500,000 would equate to 25 cents per barrel. And I said in June, if this Khamenei-Trump boutfest kicks off, then we could very well see a price spike. And I said one touch is the way to go. Khashoggi's killing tape has been revealed. Has the sacrificial animal arrived? An audio transcript obtained by a UN investigator reveals a minute-by-minute account of what happened. In November last year, I said Khashoggi was murdered in cold blood in an obviously Quentin Tarantino-style
Will it be possible
operation.
to put the trunk
The
in a
facts
bag?
that have been
No, too
presented are
heavy.
stranger
Joints
than
will be
fiction.
separated. It is
And
not a
my
problem.
question is
The body is
this:
heavy. It's the first
if
time
this
I'm
is how
cutting
they
one of the
conduct
grounds.
themselves
If we
on
take plastic
foreign
bags and
soil,
cut it
just
into pieces, it
imagine
will
what
be
they
finished. We will
what
wrap
must
them
be going
individually.
on at home. MBS is the alleged owner of Leonardo da Vinci's Salvator Mundi. And that Salvator Mundi shows Jesus in Renaissance dress giving a benediction with his right hand raised and two fingers extended while holding a transparent rock crystal orb in his left hand. The rock crystal orb, of course, reappeared during Trump's visit to the Desert Kingdom. ArtNet tell us that MBS is keeping the painting on the Serene, which is a yacht he bought for 500 million euros in 2015. While vacationing in the south of France, Bruce Rydell alleges MBS sleeps on the Serene off Jeddah because he too lives in fear of his life. In November 2017, I said the then 30-year-old Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, MBS, arrived on the scene and immediately launched an unwinnable war in the Yemen. Venezuelans marked the anniversary of the Battle of Carabobo yesterday, and Telesur English tweeted, Venezuela's fighting once again against imperialism amid threats of war and economic attacks. And as I said in February, the Chavez Revolution was always a rebellion in the superpower's backyard, and the machine was eventually going to bring it to heel by hook or by crook.